Dr. Abu Kefas, Governor of Taraba State, warmly welcomes the Northeast Governors to the beautiful city of Jalingo to the 12th Northeast Governors Forum. Under the esteemed chairmanship of His Excellency Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, Governor of Borno State, scheduled to take place on the 29th of August to 31st of August 2025. On the 29th of August 2025 is the arrival of guests. The forum is slated on the 30th of August 2025 at the Tiwai Danjuma Hall, Jalingo, Taraba State. The government and the people of Taraba State extend their warmest greetings and look forward to a productive and memorable event. Welcome to Taraba State, a land of endless possibilities. Announcer, Commissioner of Information and Reorientation, Taraba State, Barrister Zainab Jalingo.
My name is Abraham Minor Judah, and today we'll be looking at very important issues that has to do with the nation Nigeria and also our host city, Jalingo, Taraba State. Before we go on, let us go to the weather report for this morning. For the weather reports, the Sun TV weather report for this morning, Aba is starting the day at 24 degrees Celsius with partly cloudy skies expected later in the afternoon. Well, in Jalingo, the temperature is below 22 degrees Celsius, and it is scattered showers throughout the city. So that is it. Lagos record 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy with light showers. With light showers expected by evening. And across other parts of the country, Abeokuta 23 degrees Celsius, mild with cloud cover. Benin City 24 degrees Celsius, cloudy with possible rainfall. And also for Calabar, it is 24 degrees Celsius, humid with showers. So Enugu is 24 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. Ibadan, Ilorin, both at 23 degrees, expected light rain. So Jos is cooler at 20 degrees Celsius with chances of early morning drizzle, just like it is in the city of Jalingo, Taraba State. Kaduna and Kano around 23 to 24 degrees, cloudy spells with isolated rain showers. Katsina and Sokoto are warmer at 25 to 26 degrees with hot and dry conditions. Meanwhile, Port Harcourt stands at 23 degrees Celsius with rainfall likely during the day. Maiduguri also 24 degrees, partly sunny with chances of scattered rainfall. So in summary, much of southern Nigeria will experience cloudy skies with light to moderate rainfall. The Middle Belt expect mixed weather conditions, while northern states remain relatively dry and warmer, though with chances of isolated showers. So stay safe, carry your umbrella or your raincoat, just like I did this morning, if you're in the south or in any city that is having some showers this morning. And for those in the outer regions, keep yourself hydrated. Drink a lot of water, especially those in the hotter northern zones. So that's your weather update for today on Sun TV. So that is it on Sun TV. That's the weather report. And for those of us who are in the areas where the rains are raining cats and dogs, keep an umbrella by you and also ensure you have something warm to take this morning. And for those who are going out today, probably your weekend has started, well, you can just double up your bed covers, your bed sheets, and go into a deep morning sleep. Well, that is for those who are not going out early this morning. Well, this with that, we'll go into the newspaper reviews for today. We'll go into the newspaper reviews for today. But before we do that, let's also look at this the issue of the ASUU strike. Let us look at the issue of the ASUU strike. We're going to look at it from the general perspective, because as it is today, the Nigerian students are not happy. Neither are parents happy about the way the strike has been a continuous thing. Some of us have gone through the universities through the 90s, the 2000s, and this strike has always been an issue, and it is still persisting. If you look at the new crisis ongoing between ASUU and the federal government, you realize that it's the same old story with more new issues also coming up on that. So looking at this, the Solicitor General, based on the information on the Daily Trust, the Solicitor General has looked into the agreement, says the government has never signed any agreement with ASUU. This was a draft agreement. That is what the federal government is saying. The 2021 agreement was not executed by the government, so I need to be honest and truthful to Nigerians. ASUU might have an impression that they have an agreement with government, but there was no signed agreement with the government. That is the position of our federal government. And also, they said, let me remind them, it was a document that was signed on our behalf by Professor Awuzie, the former ASUU president, in 2009. That document was what they used to start playing the academic allowances because it captures it. It is that document that universities used to pay external examiners, internal examiners, and all the difference of masters and PhD program. That is from ASUU president. And say all governmental universities in the country estimated to be around 50 under the aegis of the Academic Staff Union of University. ASUU may be heading for strike. This is just as the federal government on Thursday denied claim that it signed an agreement with the ASUU, describing the documents referenced by the union merely as draft proposals. So that is quite worrisome that after so many years, I think some of these agreements go as far back as 2009. The federal government is coming out to say that there was no signed agreement between itself and ASUU, and it was just what shall I call it? It was just a draft proposals. But it was based on this agreement that the ASUU has been going to strike, and deliberations have been ongoing. So how come now the federal government, rather than look into it, is saying it is not an agreement but it's a draft proposal? And ASUU from Monday this week, that is various departments, various chapters of ASUU had called on the federal government to implement the renegotiation agreement entered into with the union to avoid industrial action, which will affect about 2 million students worldwide. So you could see this strike will affect close to more than 2 million students worldwide, not talking about businesses around the university, around the campuses, excuse me, parents, and many other things, transportation and the rest will be affected. If you're pulling 2 million people, you render them redundant in their studies because of because of the fact that the federal government and ASUU are not agreeing. And also the nationwide protests embarked upon by the unions on Tuesday across all the campuses paralyzed academic activities, while members of the union expressed readiness to shut down the institution whenever a strike is declared by its leadership. So we're calling on the federal government to use this window of the weekend to look into this issue and resolve it amicably with ASUU. And we also call upon ASUU to pipe down a little bit, but although we know, yes, they have every right, going on industrial strike is their rights. So they have to, if for years and the federal government is taking a hard stand now, I think that will worsen up the situation. So we're calling on the two sides to look into this and come up with a solution that will not affect the students and their future. So that is our call on ASUU, and also, most importantly, the federal government to look into this matter. So that is that. Well, let us go into the newspaper. Let us go into the papers for today. We go into the Punch. The Punch, I'll take just, let me take some stories from the Punch, then we do some analysis. Well, for the Punch, it said, federal government ASUU clash over 2021 agreements. The NEC unveils roadmap for 8 trillion economy by 2030. And also on the Punch, long-time neglect India's refineries revamp, says NNPC. Also, INEC pushes back as opposition rejects Southwest voter figures. Then now, 8,000 disputes led to Lagos market killings, that is trackers. Then federal government eyes to 21% GOP boost. Okay. Then the major airline says tariff war, federal government intervenes as states and discourse rift deepens. That is on the electricity issues. Let's take the report from the Punch about the tariff war as federal government intervenes as discourse rift deepens. And as the crisis between state and electricity distribution companies continues to degenerate over who has power to fix electricity tariffs, the federal government, through the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, has summoned all the stakeholders to a meeting scheduled for next week. That's according to a report on the Punch newspaper. Energy Commission of state governments under the umbrella known as the Forum of Commissioners for Power Energy in Nigeria have repeatedly insisted that the Electricity Act 2023, as amended, has empowered state governments to regulate their respective power markets. But power distribution companies under the aegis of the Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors insisted that although the Act enabled the states to regulate their power markets, the state government lacks the power to put a price on cross-border electricity. As a result of this, neither the states nor the discos are ready to shift ground over who has the authority to regulate electricity tariffs. And as state regulators make moves to design a tariff for the electricity market in their domains, starting with Enugu State, power distribution company declared that this cannot work. The tariff ordered by the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission recently also sparked the reaction of power generation companies, including the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, as the GENCOs argued that the state has no power to dictate the cost of power from the national grid. And to de-escalate the situation, the national regulator, NARC, has invited all the actors involved in the imbroglio to a meeting scheduled to be held next week in Lagos, as the discos declared again on Thursday that the state should not destroy the power sector with the quest to regulate electricity tariffs. Meanwhile, the general manager of public affairs at NARC, Dr. Usman Abba Arabi, has told told the correspondent of the Punch in an interview on Thursday that the meeting will discuss the matter and provide solutions to them. So that is the issues on the electricity tariff war between the states and the discos. So we pray that this intervention by the FGs bring an end to this issue. So, okay, let us go to another paper. Let's go to the News Direct. The News Direct, let me take the stories on the News Direct, say, the Nigerian News Direct. Say, how we increase production in OML 17 with 100% indigenous capacity. That is according to Hess Energy's CEO. Also, Asset Holdings names Innocent Ike as new GMD. Okay, Zamfara Kaduna top in kidnap cases in 1 year. That are from the SBM report. I think we took that report yesterday in our newspaper review and analysis. Then we say, why we chose to endorse Governor Adeleke for re-election, also NLC and Nulge. And FGX fees for obtaining Nigerian passport. That is another issue that broke during the week. The hiking of the fees, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from 100,000 naira to 200,000 naira. And Nigerians are seriously complaining because these hikes in fees and with the economic situation is telling on Nigerians the government should slow down on its revenue generation drive and focus, look at issues that will bring more money into the pocket of the average Nigerian. And for the major headline, NEC approves new 2026-2030 medium-term national development plan. Project accelerated economic growth, improved food security in 2026 as excess crude account shrinks to $535,823. Well, that is quite sad there. Excuse me. The federal government has endorsed a new medium-term national development plan, excuse me, covering 2026 to 2030, designed to consolidate ongoing reforms and fast-track Nigeria's economic transformation. The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, announced the approval while briefing State House correspondents after Thursday National Economic Council meeting chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima. He also explained that the new plan will replace the existing 2021 to 2025 framework, which is due to expire this year, and will serve as a strategic bridge between the current economic reforms and Nigerian long-term Agenda 2050 vision. The plan is expected to be formally launched in December 2025. Bagudu also noted that the 2021 to 2025 MTNDP, which has developed as a post-COVID-19, which has been developed as a COVID-19 recovery blueprint, fell short of its projected 7% growth target due to delays in implementing crucial reforms under the previous administrations. So it said between 2021 and 2023, we did not fully execute reforms such as subsidy removal, liberalization of the foreign exchange market, and tax restructuring. Unfortunately, these steps were not taken, and the anticipated 7% growth was not achieved, he said. The minister, however, observed that the economy has shown encouraging signs of recovery since President Bola Tinubu assumed office in 2023 and initiated a series of bold reforms. It stressed that the upcoming 2026 to 2030 plan will be inclusive, drawing contributions from all tiers of government, federal, state, and local, and as well as the private sector, civil society, political parties, labor unions, youth, and student bodies and traditional institutions. So Bagudu also underlined that the new plan will prioritize continuity of policy, job creation, human capital development, food security, improved infrastructure, and a more robust social protection system. Well, that is what the federal government are talking about, and we hope that this new medium-term development plan from 2026 to 2030 will be followed strictly to the letter, because some of the excuses given here was the fact that the past government did not follow the previous developmental plans, and that is why we could not meet up the 7% GDP growth that was expected if it has been implemented. So and we all know the medium-term development plan, which is called the MTNDP, forms part of the government 30-year strategic vision, which is being rolled out in 6 successive 5-year phases. So, well, it is just what it is on paper if the implementation is not properly done. And since this government understands that the last administration didn't follow through the plans, and that is why we're having these issues, it behoves on them to ensure that they don't deviate from the plan. But while also sticking to the plan, they should also understand that there might be serious, there will definitely be serious implications on the economy of Nigerians, and they should ensure that they should temper these reforms with some form of mercy in such a way that we don't just we don't all fall off before the gains of these reforms come. And the gains of the reform will only come if the government itself is very, very disciplined with its spendings, with the reforms, with the implementations, and what are we? Because you don't expect a reform to work if the implementer, those who are meant to implement it are not following the implementations to the letters. And also, let us give this reform a human face. There's a need for a human face to be given to these reforms. That is just my own layman advice on this. I'm not an economic expert, and I think the expert knows much more better about this. Well, let me take another paper, another story. Okay, from the First Daily. Let me take the major stories here. ADC flags suspicious INEC PVC data. Says Osun's 393,000 registrations in 7 days statistically impossible. Demands audit as Southwest accounts for 67% of nationwide registration. That is a funny story there. And I think a lot of people have been speaking on the registration across the country. Well, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has raised concern over what is described as statistically implausible figures released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in its first week report on new continuous registrations. The party, according to Bolaji Abdullahi, the National Publicity Secretary, NPS, the numbers from Osun State alone defy both historical patterns and demographic realities, with nearly 400,000 new registrations reportedly completed in just 7 days. The party warned that such suspicious figures, if left unchecked, could undermine confidence in Nigeria's entire electoral process. It is therefore called on INEC to explain how it is that in Osun State, 1 week registration exceeded the total number of new voters recorded in the state over the last 4 years combined, while the Southwest zone alone accounted for an extraordinary 67% of all pre-registrations nationwide. And according to INEC figures, Osun State alone recorded 393,269 pre-registrations in just 1 week. And they say, to put this in context, Osun added only 275,815 new voters between 2019 and 2023, a period of 4 years. In other words, Osun has now supposedly registered more people in 7 days than managed to do in an entire electoral cycle of 4 years. Even at its highest point of political mobilization in 2022, Osun has never produced more than 823,124 vote cast in the governorship election. Now, by some miracle, nearly 20% of all eligible adults in the state has rushed to register. This is just not unusual, statistically implausible. The ADC said this anomalies becomes even more glaring when viewing the context of the overall registration report. Well, the report says across 6 geographical regions, the Southwest alone account for 848,359 pre-registrations, an astonishing 67% of the national total. Well, that is the complaint of the ADC, and I think it's something worth looking into, because statistically it just doesn't fit in. But there's room for investigation, and well, the ADC is a national party. I think it should have its people on ground, and INEC should respond to this accusation from the ADC, and it is all for the growth of democracy and for the better of democracy. Well, that is all we can take on this segment of the morning show, the newspaper review of the morning show. It's a wonderful Friday morning. It's the 29th of August 2025, and this is a good day. And for those of you in a rainy environment, you should take care of yourself, stay warm. So while we go for a short break, when we come back, the morning show continues.
Dr. Abu Kefas, Governor of Taraba State, warmly welcomes the Northeast Governors to the beautiful city of Jalingo to the 12th Northeast Governors Forum. under the esteemed chairmanship of His Excellency Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, Governor of Borno State. Scheduled to take place on the 29th of August to 31st of August 2025. On the 29th of August 2025 is the arrival of guests. The forum is slated on the 30th of August 2025 at the Tiwai Danjuma Hall, Jalingo, Taraba State. The government and the people of Taraba State extend their warmest greetings and look forward to a productive and memorable event. Welcome to Taraba State, a land of endless possibilities. Announcer, Commissioner of Information and Reorientation, Taraba State, Barrister Zainab Jalingo.
Ladies and gentlemen, queens and kings of purpose, welcome to the Taraba Human Rights International Film Festival 2025, where nearly 100 powerful minds, dreamers, doers, and defenders of humanity will be gathered at Taraba 2025. And I say to them, welcome to the spark before the wildfire and to the heartbeat of a legacy. Prince Homsuk Alex Jibrin is my name. I am the greatest grandson to the 23rd Longwo, third son to the Kanai of the Ko Chiefdom, and a true prince to the House of Mamen. At Tarif, we will not only be telling stories, but we will be reviving the very soul of our people through film. In September 2025, Taraba will rise again as we invite you to experience, explore, and invest in the greatest epic film ever in the Kumbo Legacy Workshop. And this is where ancient tradition will meet with modern transformation. Because at Tarif, we shall be celebrating the strength, wisdom, and heritage of the greatest empire that has ever existed in West African history. And tomorrow, we shall immortalize it in art, film, and in fire. So storytellers, stand tall. The legacy is calling. Will you answer? Welcome to Tarif 2025. Let the revolution begin.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast, and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride, your way.
When a tanker bearing fuel falls or an underground pipe bearing fuel bursts, what do? Scooping fuel in your bucket or running far away from impending fire? You have a few seconds to take the wisest decision. Walk away? No, that is not enough. Shift? No, that is not enough. Stay there and gist and take shots with your phone? That is madness. Run. Yes, run away. Yes, your life depends on your action. The flames come suddenly, unexpected but uncontrollable. Why? Fuel is highly inflammable. Why? It just requires a spark to set off a ravaging inferno. So, don't stay there to think. Storm away to live. Do not throw away your life in anguish for meaningless fuel siphoning. Be advised.
Keep watching Some TV.
Hey Taraba State, let's ascend to the future. Imagine a world where entertainment, transportation, finance and commerce are at your fingertips 247. Welcome to the future. Taraba Business School and Taraba News proudly present a revolutionary lineup of products and services designed to transform your life. Some TV, your premier 247 destination for local and international entertainment, news and educational content. Come to the broadcast of News Hour on Super Media Television.
Welcome to the broadcast of World News on Super Media Television.
Welcome to the broadcast of news across Nigeria on Super Media Television.
This is Sport Daily on Some TV.
Good morning, Nigeria. This is the morning show from Some TV.
Super Cap, safe, convenient and affordable 247 transportation services across Jalingo and Taraba State. Unlock seamless 247 financial transaction, easy loans, and rewarding savings with our innovative mobile banking solution. Taraba Online Markets. Buy and sell local and exotic products. Connect with suppliers and grow your businesses 247 with our vibrant e-commerce platform. TBS e-learning. Access a wall of knowledge with our comprehensive online courses and myriad of professional programs. SuperSoft. Unlock exclusive subscriptions subscription-based services, discounts, and reward. Don't miss this groundbreaking products and services. Join us as we all celebrate in the future and experience the future today. Taraba Business School and Taraba News, empowering your future 247. Ascend to the future.
Dr. Abu Kefas, Governor of Taraba State, warmly welcomes the Northeast Governors to the beautiful city of Jalingo to the 12th Northeast Governors Forum. Under the esteemed chairmanship of His Excellency Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, Governor of Borno State, scheduled to take place on the 29th of August to 31st of August 2025. On the 29th of August 2025 is the arrival of guests. The forum is slated on the 30th of August 2025 at the Tiwai Danjuma Hall, Jalingo, Taraba State. The government and the people of Taraba State extend their warmest greetings and look forward to a productive and memorable event. Welcome to Taraba State, a land of endless possibilities. Announcer, Commissioner of Information and Reorientation, Taraba State, Barrister Zainab Jalingo.
Ladies and gentlemen, queens and kings of purpose, welcome to the Taraba Human Rights International Film Festival 2025, where nearly 100 powerful minds, dreamers, doers, and defenders of humanity will be gathered at Taraba 2025. And I say to them, welcome to the spark before the wildfire and to the heartbeat of a legacy. Prince Homsuk Alex Jibrin is my name. I am the greatest grandson to the 23rd Longwo, third son to the Kanai of the Ko Chiefdom, and a true prince to the house of Mamen. At Tarif, we will not only be telling stories, but we will be reviving the very soul of our people through film. In September 2025, Taraba will rise again as we invite you to experience, explore, and invest in the greatest epic film ever in the Kumbo Legacy Workshop. And this is where ancient tradition will meet with modern transformation. Because at Tarif, we shall be celebrating the strength, wisdom, and heritage of the greatest empire that has ever existed in West African history. And tomorrow, we shall immortalize it in art, film, and in fire. So storytellers, stand tall. The legacy is calling. Will you answer? Welcome to Tarif 2025. Let the revolution begin.
When a tanker bearing fuel falls or an underground pipe bearing fuel bursts, what do you do? Scooping fuel in your bucket or running far away from impending fire? You have a few seconds to take the wisest decision. Walk away? No, that is not enough. Shift? No, that is not enough. Stay there and gist and take shots with your phone? That is madness. Run. Yes, run away. Yes, your life depends on your action. The flames come suddenly, unexpected but uncontrollable. Why? Fuel is highly inflammable. Why? It just requires a spark to set off a ravaging inferno. So, don't stay there to think. Storm away to live. Do not throw away your life in anguish for meaningless fuel siphoning. Be advised.
watching Some TV.
When a tanker bearing fuel falls or an underground pipe bearing fuel bursts, what do you do? Scooping fuel in your bucket or running far away from impending fire? You have a few seconds to take the wisest decision. Walk away? No, that is not enough. Shift? No, that is not enough. Stay there and gist and take shots with your phone? That is madness. Run. Yes, run away. Yes, your life depends on your action. The flames come suddenly, unexpected but uncontrollable. Why? Fuel is highly inflammable. Why? It just requires a spark to set off a ravaging inferno. So, don't stay there to think. Storm away to live. Do not throw away your life in anguish for meaningless fuel siphoning. Be advised.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing SuperCab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the SuperCab app today. SuperCab, your ride, your way.
Welcome back to the morning show on Some TV. It's a wet Friday morning edition of the morning show. And it's quite good that we're having a wet Friday that is going to usher in a very, very lovely weekend for the month. And it's the last weekend for the month of August. And I believe it's going to be a great month for every one of us, despite all that we might have gone through. So this is the Taraba News segment of the morning show, and we will be looking at stories that has to do with Taraba State. We'll be looking at stories that has to do with Taraba State, and also stories that has to do with development issues in this part of the country. I will be taking those stories from the cover pages of Taraba News. From the cover pages of Taraba News. Taraba News is the most influential newspaper in Taraba State, and one of the most influential in the Northeast. Okay, so let us start today with one of the stories that we took here that we're going to, thankfully the governor has listened to Ukrainians and has responded to it. Governor Kefas directs security agencies to sustain security men at College of Nursing and Midwifery, Jalingo. The governor of Taraba State, Dr. Abu Kefas, on Wednesday, on the 27th, on Wednesday, 27th August, inspected the College of Nursing and Midwifery, Jalingo, to check spate of work on the project. And while at the college, the governor listened to the concern raised by the students on the issues of insecurity on the campus and directed security agencies to immediately station security men in places the students are staying in large numbers. The gesture demonstrates the concern of the governor for the well-being of the students and their studies. And the governor assured that the works on the project will soon be completed so that they will return to their hostels in the school. I think I would say kudos to the governor for this, because if you ask me, they were attacked by criminals some few days back. A lot of them were injured with machetes and some other forms of weapons. And even the school, the letter was written by the student union government of the school, and we were even supposed to have an interview with them on the Some TV morning show to discuss the issue of insecurity around the School of Nursing around where students stay there. So, well, the governor has responded, and he has responded positively. The security agents should now take action so that our young students and people living around that area will be free from attacks of criminals and criminality. And as we know, this is a state that crime is being found on, especially by the governor of the state. So we look forward to seeing peace return and security returning to that area of Taraba State. Well, going to another story, with this time around, we're looking at this story. Taraba State Special Task Force Committee Chairman, Brigadier General Aliu Faransa, retired, visits Iyamusala local and stones crushing site. The chairman of the Taraba State Special Task Force Committee on Environmental Protection, Public Safety and Prohibition of Deforestation, retired General Jeremiah Aliu Faransa, yesterday paid an official visit to the Iyamusala locally unmade stone crushing site to ascertain the earth movement rumors. The STF chairman said he was mandated by the government to come and ascertain an earlier rumors concerning earth movement in the area in the best interest of the people residing around this area. The retired general, the action man, as I called him, added that government was aware of the information, hence his visit, and the personnel of the special task force. He advised men and women to report anything strange, as well as anything that is a deliberate threat that could jeopardize their hustling and lives of many who are purposely at the crushing site to meet their livelihood. And responding, one of the women who spoke on behalf of locals at the site said they were happy seeing the general visit them to ascertain the originality of the rumor. The women explained that they have been in the hustle for decades, using their God-given powers to crush the stones to sell at a mega rate to feed their family. She said most of them are widows, widowers, and orphans whose source of survival is tied to the hard labor of crushing stones locally. So appealing to government through General Faransa to come to their aid. They said previous administration, the state have assisted them in various means, calling on the Kefas administration to consider them in its program. A special prayer was offered to His Excellency Governor Agbu Kefas, generous leadership in the state, and retired General Aliu Faransa for their painstaking visits to them. And I think this is what we call leadership. The rumor went around town, and the task force chairman didn't waste any time visiting there to ascertain the veracity of the stories, the rumors about earth movement in that area. And I think this is the kind of proactive actions we want from our leaders, and I would say kudos to General Faransa for that proactiveness that he has shown on this matter. It is always good for government to be responsible and responsive, and this is the action that General Faransa has shown here. He has shown responsibility and also responsiveness, and also we call on the government to look at the issues of these women. Around the Iyamusala area, it's a back-breaking tax they are doing there, crushing stones, and I think something should be done for them, maybe equipment or whatever it is that could be done, should be done for this hardworking people. So kudos to the Taraba State Special Task Force Committee and the chairman, Brigadier General Aliu Jeremiah Faransa. Thank you very much. So with this, we move to another story that is making the rounds in Taraba. Well, okay, Taraba 34, 30 years driving order and development. This is a write-up by Henry Agbu, which says that Taraba marks 34 years of statehood. One institution that stands out in the journey of growth and modernization is the Taraba Geographic Information Service, that is TAGIS. It was created to bring efficiency and transparency to land administration. TAGIS has become a game changer in how land is managed, documented, and utilized in the state. With its adoption of digital mapping and geospatial technology, the agency has streamlined processes that were once cumbersome, reducing land disputes and ensuring secure titles for property owners. And under the leadership of Governor Agu Kefas, Tajis have witnessed renewed reforms and digitalization efforts aimed at strengthening its capacity. The governor's administration has prioritized e-governance and technology-driven service delivery, with Tajis at the center of this vision. Through the digitization of land records and introduction of user-friendly platforms, property owners can now process their documents faster, while government benefits from improved transparency and accountability. And also beyond land administration, Tajis plays a strategic role in development planning, from guiding urban expansion to supporting agricultural projects and infrastructure development. The data provided by Tajis have become a reliable source for both government and investors. Ministries and agencies now rely on its geospatial intelligence to make informed decisions, while they still leverage the system to boost internally generated revenue. So kudos to Tajis, they've done well. These are some of the innovations that we witness in Taraba. The world is a global village, and you have to move at the pace that the world is moving, or you get left behind. Well, another interesting story here that makes me happy is this news that Taraba governor delivers new homes to Jalingo flood victim. Nasarawa community relocated to state-provided apartments as temporary camps shut there. In a decisive move that brought relief and joy to dozens of displaced families, Governor Agu Kefas has relocated the flood-ravaged Nasarawa Culverts community to new state-provided apartments, ending weeks of anguish for victims of the disaster. The intervention executed through the Taraba State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, comes after devastating floods swept through the Nasarawa Kolbati area of Jalingo, leaving families homeless and struggling for survival. So with the governor's swift approval, the most affected households have now been resettled in safe and decent accommodations provided by the state. Executive Secretary of SEMA, Dr. Echosin Audu, hailed the governor's prompt action, describing it as a clear demonstration of leadership rooted in compassion and citizen welfare. She emphasized that the closure of the temporary camp marks not just the end of displacement, but the beginning of a fresh start for the affected families. And the beneficiaries, they've expressed gratitude, saying the move has restored their dignity and hope, and we never thought we would sleep under a proper roof again, so soon, one relief resident said. The relocation underscores the Kefas administration's proactive approach to disaster management, blending emergency relief with long-term recovery. Beyond providing shelter, Foshia says the initiative reflects a broader commitment to protecting vulnerable communities across the state. So as Nasarawa families settle into their new homes, the Kefas administration has once again signaled that no citizen will be left behind in the face of crisis. Well, that is it. So this is another story. Taraba 34, Governor Kefas read riot to traditional rulers. And a February anniversary address that shook the palace walls, Governor Agu Kefas of Taraba State has warned traditional rulers to stay clear of acts fueling conflict and underdevelopment, declaring that no one is above the law. Speaking at a gathering of royal fathers in Jalingo, as the state marked its 34th anniversary, Kefas lambasted the indiscriminate sale of land, illegal issuance of mining consent letters, involvement in illegal mining, reckless conferment of chieftaincy titles, and the unregulated appointment of those practices said have worsened farmer-elder clashes and emboldened banditry. Any ruler found guilty will face 10 consequences: suspension, depositions, or even prosecution, the governor thundered. He said, where the law is silent, I will invoke the doctrine of necessity to protect our people. No person, no matter how highly places above the law of Taraba State. I think I support the governor on this. I totally support him because the traditional institutions are to be revered, and anyone not holding this revered authority the proper way, should be disciplined, just like the governor said, because we respect these tools and we expect that people who own these tools should be people of integrity, people who will bring development and peace and security to the state. While the words of the governor carry the weight of a crackdown, Kefas stressed that his government seeks partnership, not rivalry, with traditional institutions. He urged monarchs to protect their territories against crime, consult the state before conferring titles or appointing adults, and align with his administration's agenda for peace and development. The governor also reassured citizens that his government is responding to their pressing needs in security, education, healthcare, infrastructure, and jobs systematically and step by step as resources allow. Calling for unity, Kefas declared leadership is a sacred trust from God and the people, and the abuse of that trust will no longer be tolerated. He said, let us secure Taraba, and let us unite Taraba, let us move Taraba forward. Well, that is my final words for today's morning show. Let me quote the executive governor of Taraba State, Dr. Abu Kefas. He said, let us secure Taraba, let us unite Taraba, and let us move Taraba forward. That is my message today on the morning show. Let us secure Taraba, let us unite Taraba, and let us move Taraba forward. So this is the morning show, and I would really like to thank everyone that has been part of this morning show, that have ensured that this morning show was a success. The studio managers for this morning, Mr. Moses Peter, Mr. Dominion planner, the PRO, who ensured that we had a wonderful session this morning. And also not forgetting that the master control operators, Mr. Silas Walu God Gift, and Mr. James Emmanuel for this program, and also everyone that has participated in the production. Not forgetting the executive producer of the show, Chief Gabriel Olayinka. My name is Abraham Mainejoda. Good morning.
Dr. Abu Kefas, Governor of Taraba State, warmly welcomes the Northeast Governors to the beautiful city of Jalingo to the 12th Northeast Governors Forum. Under